Hi, I'm Derek from ForeGolf Custom, and today we're reviewing the TourStroke Trainer and the ER5 Hatchback. If you're struggling with your putting and you really can't get the stroke going and you're struggling for pace, this TourStroke Trainer is one that you need to take a look at. And also, if you need something that frames the ball better, that has a really good balance and looks really positive at position, and you're also struggling for pace control, the ER5 Hatchback is one that you're going to want to look at. But if you're a beginner in terms of putting, and if you struggle with your putting for pace control, I need you to stay tuned to this. This TourStroke Trainer, it is a bit funky and it is a bit different, but it can really help to improve your putting, and you will become a better putter on the basis of using this. So straight off the blocks, I mean, this came in first and we were a bit kind of freaked out by it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But let's maybe give us a quick overview. So when people have come in for putting and you've been looking at them take a few strokes, where does this go straight in? Where do you say, okay, well, here you go, this is what you need to try?
I think one of the major things that amateur golfers struggle with from a putting's perspective, well, I mean, there's two real major problems. One is pace and one is direction.
Yeah.
So I guess its name gives it away with the Evnroll. So from a percentage of the ball rolling across the green, I don't think there's anything higher from an industry's perspective.
Yeah, I think to qualify that, the Evnroll have these grooves which are, wider in the centre. Well, narrower groove, but wider space in the centre, and then they get thicker as it goes out. I spoke to a good few putting guys about this, and some of them are big against grooves, some of them prefer flat faces. From this putter's perspective, what happens is the less contact there is with the face, the ball actually slows down a little bit in terms of speed. But what happens is, because the groove then is slightly, there's more face as it gets wider out, the speed quickens up a little. So the groove actually controls the amount of speed reduction or replacement across the face. And you've noticed this.
Certainly, yeah. But so that covers off the distance control part of it. But part of its funkiness is because the head is dramatically offset from the head. And that just increases the MOI, or the moment of inertia, or off-centre hit straight, whichever way you want to look at it.
And it's extraordinarily well balanced in terms of face.
Extremely balanced, and because it's so well stable at the back, you can't really misstroke it. It'll deliver the head squarely no matter what you try and do.
Yeah, so it pushes the hands forward.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what it does is it creates, I guess it teaches you stroke. So if anything is worth subscribing to the channel for and hitting the like button, is this putter will teach you stroke on its own because of the way that it's set and the way that the head is set up.
There's two different modes, because it is legal to play with, which was our first question.
Very important to know. Good point, Davo.
So you can use it from a training's perspective. For learning stroke, you set it up behind the ball and let it roll through. And then from a putting's perspective, you put it in behind the ball and roll your hands forward.
So if you struggle with kind of stroke and you struggle with kind of putting, if that's the right word, and then that pace control, this is the one to figure out. So in contrast, then you pick this as your other top fitting favourite, which is the ER5 Hatchback.
Of course. What I mean, it's a little bit more advanced in terms of for player than the product we have, but it's still very, very stable. Got the hatchback, which is the bit out of the middle cut, gives it like the shape of a ball. But then you have the wings that run down the side of it, which give it incredible stability, good frame and good visual. Gives you a position where you can set the thing on the ground and you know that everything's lined up and everything's visually straight.
Yeah.
And then because the weight is exterior, then the putter tends to just rock and roll backwards and forwards in a straight line.
You've been using it for players who are, fairly decent in terms of putting and understanding it, but struggle with a bit of pace.
Or just don't make enough. They put a good stroke on it, and then they end up with 34, 35 putts per round, because they're edging the cup, they're a little bit long, a little bit short, a little bit left, a little bit right. There's no real specific miss. And when it is missed, it's not by miles. They just don't make enough putts.
So in terms of Trackman, which we use here for fitting Trackman 4, is our kind of go-to standard of putter analysis. You've noticed the putting pace, the skid and the roll. So maybe let me just talk a little bit about skid. So what skid is the reduction of bounce in the ball before the putter or the ball starts to make a full rotation. So it's how much the ball is rolling is considered what we would consider the important thing here. And these two, we picked these. Now there's many more in the range from Evnroll, but we picked these because these were the top two that we use for different scenarios to try and give people a bit of a steer on things. But you loved them for that skid reduction.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're class leading when it comes to getting the roll percentage as high as you possibly can. What I mean, a good number's in the 90s. There's always has to be a percentage of the ball which is roll and skid because the putter has a loft on it and our strokes aren't perfect. But it gets it as high as you can get it.
So it gets it rolling as quick as possible.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then with the face and groove configuration, it keeps the pace or distance as consistent as possible. So it's fair to say that the groove configuration on the Evnroll putters can really help improve that pace control and getting the ball to the hole, but also on those slightly off-center hits, it will still help to get the ball up there and close to the hole. That's kind of key with this putter. The reality is though that you're going to have to check to make sure that the putter that you currently have is going to see an improvement by moving to Evnroll. The only way to do that is, as you know, a fitting. So take the fitting session, test the putters, test to see if the numbers do match up and that they do match what we're talking about in terms of that roll configuration. The Evnroll ER5 Hatchback, it does come in a black version as well. So if you're privy to the actual shape or the look of it in terms of that framing, then maybe you might want to look at the black as well. But basically these two types of putters are ones that we use a lot for. So just to sum up, that TourStroke Trainer is a putter that we use if you're really struggling with your putters, you're new to the game, you're a beginner, you're struggling to get that stroke just right and get that pace control organized. That will help you enormously. Even though it does look a little bit funky at address, it will do the job, trust me. The ER5 then is for maybe a slightly more accomplished player, someone who's got a better sort of an understanding of their stroke but is looking for something that frames the shot better, square at address, and does deliver a nice even stroke when it comes to putting. Look at the two, see what suits your eye, see what looks best, and then obviously go with what works from terms of you. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Please like the video if you're liking what we're talking about and if it's making sense to you. Also subscribe to the channel. We've lots more reviews coming. Hope you're enjoying the information relating to Trackman as well. It's what we use here for a fitting. It is quite good and it gives us the kind of information that we need. So until the next video, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.
Hey, I'm Seamus Power on the PGA Tour. If you're looking for the best golf club reviews out there on YouTube, just check out the guys at ForeGolf Custom. They've custom fit my golf clubs for years and they're the best in the business.